Day 5 and 6 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial were ridiculous. Around 10 state witnesses testified, some being police officers and some being experts who test substances for drugs. One of the situations pertaining to Trontavious Nichols was arrested because of his Instagram story. The story led police to him being caught with weed and a gun. Yeah, there's a lot of tedious cases. I mean, it's just about like $20 worth of weed or a half a gram of cocaine. Like, that's literally it. I'd say 85% of these cases were, you know, people that weren't even present in the courtroom. Like, it's people that aren't even on the case anymore. Hit subscribe, let's get right into this video, boys. Here's first look at Thug. He's got this wolf sweatshirt on. Some people say that was him trolling the state because they brought up him being like the head pack of the wolves or whatever. His family member or girlfriend or someone confirmed that it's not true because they gave him these clothes like weeks ago to prepare for the trial, so it was before that. Thug's lawyer's about to cross-examine, his name is Antonio Skeet, the stolen gun that was found in Thug's, possession when he was driving that car in 2013.
The burglary happens approximately July 10th, 2013. Does that sound approximately correct?
Yes, in that ballpark, correct.
You put that information on a computer system, fair to say?
Yes.
And approximately 2 months later, we're talking about September 9th, 2013 from July 10th, 2013, so about 2 months later, there's a match.
Yes.
On the serial number that is now the gun in 12B. Fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. And you had no involvement in that traffic stop either. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I had no involvement in the traffic stop.
And the traffic stop, again, I'm talking about the September 9th, 2013 traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
True?
Well, as far as the traffic stop, the only thing I got from that was information.
Right. But you were not involved in that traffic
No.
stop? Okay. And you did nothing further in this matter?
As far as the gun being recovered, what I did after that was basically call to find out if the prints that the officer said he took from the location, if they came back to get a match.
Okay.
But they didn't have any prints.
Okay, and that's it?
And that's it.
That's why you're here?
That's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, thank you. Nothing else.
Any further examination, counsels?
That's Brian Steele right there showing the jury that they're just going to be calling a bunch of people that were barely involved. Officer was like barely involved. He just recovered the stolen gun. So there's 700 witnesses. This trial's going to be long, tedious, a bunch of crimes that no one really cares about anymore because they're either, a lot of them are dismissed. They already served time for them. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Now looking at exhibit number 4.
That's the gun that Trontavious Stevens ditched in a bucket when he flashed gang signs in my last video at a police officer and then got arrested for it. He threw it in a bucket, I guess, running by it or something. There's Trontavious Stevens on the day he got arrested 10 years ago. This is like a $2,000 Amiri sweatshirt, by the way. Shout out Thugger Daily on Twitter. He tweets out a lot of good, informative stuff. That's how I know a lot of the shit, to be honest.
Well, we encountered that vehicle because of the traffic violation.
What was the traffic violation?
It failed to stop at the stop sign at Springside Drive in Macon. Once we got the vehicle stopped, myself and Officer Desmond, we exited our patrol vehicle to address the traffic infraction with the driver. Upon getting to the vehicle, I noticed a strong odor of marijuana while walking to the vehicle. I smelled the odor of marijuana.
How did you know this was the smell of marijuana?
I was exposed to controlled burn at Atlanta Police Academy. The driver was Mr. Trontavious Stevens. That person was Mr. Shannon Stillwell Jackson.
So Shannon and Trontavious got pulled over at some point together. That's all I've gathered from this. That's important.
Marijuana was located underneath the passenger seat.
And what about the digital scale?
It was underneath the passenger seat.
And what about the firearm?
It was underneath the passenger seat.
And I'm saying there was some money?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was the money located?
Underneath the passenger seat as well.
What type of prescribed was it?
I believe they were hydrocodone. Yes, the serial number was scratched off and altered.
See, that's bad. Having a firearm with a scratch serial number on it.
Well, he stated, but not verbatim. Officer, you can let my girl go. You know it's not hers. I'll take ownership of it. Not verbatim, though, but something similar.
Trontavious Steven, a real one, trying to get his girl out of trouble. Let's see what Shannon Stillwell's lawyer cross-examines right here.
First of all, I just want to ask, during this encounter, during this police stop, was Shannon Stillwell cooperative? Was he a gentleman?
I didn't have any issues with him.
Thank you.
Marijuana in the glass jars, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the money was also in this brown sack, correct?
Yes.
All under the front passenger seat.
Passenger seat.
The firearm, 8 years ago. Do you recall if the firearm was in this bag or not?
I can't recall if it was in the bag, but I know it was underneath the seat as well.
Okay, it was underneath the seat. You're not sure if it was in the same bag as the pills that were prescribed to Trontavious Stevens' girlfriend?
No.
Was the firearm, were the glass jars or the firearm, were they ever processed for, to your knowledge, for fingerprints or DNA or anything like
To
that?
my knowledge, I'm not aware. Once we place it in property, the property officers, they handle that.
Okay, and you made the decision to charge all 3 individuals in the car with the gun and the drugs?
Yes.
Okay, and to be clear, the car, the Civic, what belonged to Miss Marquisha Please?
Yes, she was a registered owner.
Okay, and her boyfriend, Trontavious Stevens, was driving?
Yes.
And my client, Shannon, still was in the backseat?
Yes.
Okay. Trontavious Stevens, in this case, after you made those charging decisions to charge all 3 individuals with both the gun and the drugs, he claimed the items, or he attempted to claim the items?
Yes.
Okay. Did you charge any of the individuals in the car with violation of the Gang Act, the Georgia Gang Act?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Any further cross counsels?
These guys just keep pointing out that, they're not charged with gang charges back then, but now it is suddenly. And there wasn't much ties to these crimes to YSL at the time. I know it's a bigger picture thing and it takes years to, you know, culminate evidence like this, but for a jury, it's going to make them be like, wow, these are a lot of just crimes that were 10 years ago that were either dismissed or they already did time for.
I heard you a little while ago. You identified Shannon Stillwell in court. You don't see Trontavious Stevens, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. $19 was how much was recovered from the car? $19?
Yes.
That was in the same bag, right, with the marijuana and the pills prescribed in the please?
Yes, I believe so.
And the marijuana was what, like a misdemeanor amount of marijuana? Is that right?
No, with the way it was baggaged and with the money and the scale, it was felony amount of marijuana.
The amount, the weight was how much?
Approximately 16 grams. But due to it being bagged in individual plastic baggies, the digital scale and the currency that was consistent with intent to distribute.
Less than an ounce of marijuana is a misdemeanor amount of marijuana.
By itself, yes.
Okay, gotcha. And everyone gets arrested, right?
Yes, sir.
And then later on, Stevens tells you something to the effect of, you don't remember exactly, you can let my girlfriend go. You know it ain't hers. This is my stuff. He said something like that, right?
Yeah, to the effect, yes.
Threw him to jail, right?
Paperwork was already completed.
And once the paperwork's done, they go in jail.
Well, he had the opportunity to tell me at the beginning.
He did at some point, right?
After the fact that the warrants were signed and the judges were notified and was en route to jail.
Another sergeant right here testifying about Shannon Stillwell and Trontavious Stevens. The audio has suddenly gone to shit.
It was the point where, as you know, this was in the afternoon, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we could not see inside the vehicle to see who was operating inside this vehicle. So we asked the driver for his driver's license, and he stated that he did not have one. And at that point in time, he was detained in handcuffs. In addition to the driver, there were 3 adults and a minor child. Sure, in the center console, we located a bag of suspected powder MDMA. We also found a pill bottle which contained 6 suspected pills of what's known as alprazolam. It goes by the brand name of Xanax. And a single suspected pill of ecstasy. Next to the pill bottle, there were several other glassine baggies, which are commonly used to, in narcotic sales, which are commonly used to, you would place narcotics in the bag and then distribute them when you sell them. In addition to that, a loaded 9mm handgun was located underneath the driver's seat.
Damn, all 3 lawyers heard something they didn't like and asked for a sidebar.
All right, and you asked Mr. Nichols for us identifying information, correct?
Yes.
And he gave it to you?
He did.
He gave you his real name, correct?
Yes.
All right. And body footage lasts for 5 years?
Depending on the case, yes.
Depending on the case. But in this case, the body camera footage was supposed to be retained for 5 years, correct?
Correct.
All right. So in this case, it was originally indicted May 9th of 2022. And remember, this incident happened July 3rd of 17. That was within the 5 years.
Correct.
Did you receive any type of notification or instruction from the government to say, hey, retain this body camera footage?
I did not.
Do you know of any other members of the 15? And this is just to your knowledge. Do you know if they were told, hey, retain this footage?
To my knowledge, no.
All right, so the car was searched.
Yes.
And you have testified that you found some pills, correct?
Yes.
2 pills, and that you found 2 baggies of some type of solid substance.
Correct.
And you have testified suspected substance because you don't know, right? You're not the GBI.
Correct.
You didn't test these things.
No.
You did not arrest Mr. Nichols for anything gang-related, correct?
I did not.
You did not. And you did not arrest any of the individuals in this vehicle with any gang charges, right?
I did not.
Okay. And you wrote a report in this case?
I did.
And you're trained to write reports?
Correct.
Right. And you're trained that if you need to supplement a report, that you can supplement a report, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you're trained on how to write an affidavit for a warrant,
I am.
correct? And you are trained to how to write a citation, correct?
I am.
Any of the list that I just gave you, you did not report anything in reference to any type of gang activity with this traffic stop, correct?
I did not.
All right. And you didn't report anything in reference to any type of gang activity in reference to what you seized, correct?
Correct.
All right. So gang just wasn't mentioned, correct? All right. You're aware that Norman Harris pled guilty to possession of a firearm and the drugs, correct?
I was not aware, no.
You were not aware of that. Okay. Ms. Pierre, you testified that she was the owner of the car. I want to make sure that I have that correct, right?
That is correct.
And you're aware that Ms. Pierre pled to the alleged drugs found in the vehicle?
I was not aware.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Thank you.
I know this man's so over this shit because this is just a bunch of cops coming up here and talking about cases that have already been solved 7 or 8 years ago.
Auntie right here, talking about she want her young Quay right here trying. He trying. Quay right here trying to get in. Auntie saying she want her young. Man, Shorty, man, man, I got a partner.
Is that the individual that you saw as play when you were watching this video?
Yes, ma'am.
He trying. Quay right here trying to get in. Auntie saying she want her young. Man, Shorty, man, man, I got a partner.
Where do you see what you believe to be the suspected marijuana?
If you could go back, but it's right there in the thing.
Since you have 2 circles on the video, can you distinguish or cause one to go away?
We are circling marijuana on a video right now. That's what we're doing in 2023. Oh, this trial, bro. What is this trial, man?
And this is that initial video. This is that initial video that you saw.
Do me a favor, I'm going to detain you, man. Step up, step up. Why you detain? Step up, because this whole area smells like weed, so we're going to detain all y'all. Alright, if I can search you, that's fine. We'll get to that. I'm detaining you. Detaining me.
Yes, I have an objection.
Continue objection, ma'am?
Well, just
We haven't all that taken up already?
further hearsay objection.
Rule objection.
Thank you.
Okay.
Judge was pissed right there that she keeps objecting to this.
it showed that 2 of the firearms, the Glock and the Smith & Wesson, to be stolen.
And as an Apex officer, when you see the drugs and the guns together, what is that?
I'll overrule the objection.
It's used as a tool to prevent possible, or as a tool to possibly prevent the actual stealing of the narcotics or the proceed earned from selling narcotics.
Judge wasn't letting them get anything right there. He's overruling everything. He wants the jury to hear that the gun is to protect the drugs and money when someone is selling drugs.
Through knowledge of investigation from the gang unit, as well as reviewing some of the Instagram handles, I saw what I suspected to be gang.
I stand for the question, the answer.
At various times, you can see individuals throwing up what's been assumed as the. I understood that to be related to YSL. It was some what's the word? Tagging is a graffiti word. It's a graffiti term for spray paint, where you see buildings or whatever marked with YSL or slat or slime or various phrases that is known to be associated. Whole Cleveland Avenue area, it's all one street, so
No, what time you saw? Yes, you do not know.
No.
Okay, and you do not know what device that you were using to see this post, correct?
I don't know what time it happened. If we comparing the body camera video to when I'm saying 20 minutes of my report, it would have been roughly approximately that time.
You don't know when the video was created. You don't know if it was created and posted on the same day. You do not know.
We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about you saying how long after me seeing the video. That's what you just said.
That is not what I said at all. Let's just go back a little bit. Let's slow down, okay? All right, right now I'm just asking questions about the post itself.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm not talking about your body camera. I asked you, you do not know when the video, meaning the Instagram video, when it was created. You do not know that, correct?
No.
Okay, because you didn't make it. You don't know.
No.
All right, and you do not know who filmed the video. You weren't there. You do not know.
No.
Okay, and you do not know when the approximate time that the video was posted, correct?
Talking about the video of him in the fucking car holding the weed, I guess.
No.
Okay, and you do not know where you were when you were watching this video, correct?
No.
Okay, and in fact, you do not know the device that you even used to watch this video, right?
I see the cell phone.
And you see what you believe to be a small bag of marijuana, correct?
Yes.
All right. You see this post and you call your supervisor?
I notify him, yes.
All right. And you get a caravan together?
Yes.
All right. And you find a staging location?
Yes.
Okay. And and several officers meet you at the staging location?
Yes.
All right. And you do this briefing session with your other officers?
Yes.
To go get this marijuana?
Yes.
Okay. Arrive at the apartment complex, right?
Yes.
And when you get there, Mr. Nichols, who you believe to be Mr. Nichols, he's not even in that car, the gray car anymore, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And you saw individuals standing beside the gray car, correct?
Yes.
None of which was Mr. Nichols.
Correct.
All right. Any marijuana in his hand, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't observe him smoking any marijuana, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't have a firearm in his hand or anything of that nature, right?
He didn't.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, when you approached Mr. Nichols, you and the other individuals, you asked him about marijuana, right?
I did.
And Mr. Nichols told you he didn't have any.
He did.
Okay. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Nichols said, "Officer, you can search me."
He did.
Okay. You asked Mr. Nichols for his name.
I did.
He provided it to you.
He did.
He gave you his real name.
He did.
It's fair to say he was cooperative.
He was.
Okay. Now, several other individuals was outside. You checked their IDs, correct?
I did.
Okay. And you put them in handcuffs.
Yeah, somebody did.
Okay. And you didn't see them committing any crimes.
No.
Okay. Out of all of these individuals outside and the cars outside, you didn't observe the K9 alert anything beside that one car, right?
To my knowledge.
To your knowledge, okay.
Correct.
All right. So you didn't find, crimes out there beside the one that you said that you arrested Mr. Nichols for, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She's actually doing a good job, casting doubt on some of his, decision making.
Let me just ask you this. You're aware that the marijuana charge against Mr. Nichols was dismissed?
No.
You're not? No further questions.
That's a mic drop right there. There's so many dismissed cases on this. I feel like a jury is just not going to give a fuck about cases that were dismissed. Maybe if they pled guilty or something, it could be different, but...
To go locate this weed that you saw in the car, right?
To investigate the marijuana, yes.
Right. And you were very interested in doing this because you even called for the K9 before you went out there.
Yes.
Right? Make sure that as you go over to wherever this location is, right, even ones who you hadn't observed committing any crimes, these folks in their neighborhood are put in handcuffs by you because you want to detain them, you want to investigate, right?
To locate the marijuana, yes.
Locate the marijuana that you saw in the car on the Instagram post that you don't know when it was posted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man, all this leads from an Instagram post. Marijuana in a car.
While you're conducting this investigation, while you're on the scene, is there anyone out there throwing up gang signs, right?
Correct.
Right. And nobody out there, while you're conducting this investigation that you're here talking about, that you're here testifying about in this RICO racketeering gang case, throwing up gang signs saying, I'm selling some marijuana because I'm by itself. None of that, right?
I sustain the objection.
No gang signs.
No gang signs.
All right.
That's all.
He's really trying to get the point across that there wasn't much of a gang tie to this particular crime.
As well as they've been saying, door could be closed. Somebody could be trying to move whatever we suspect of being in that car. So I found it safe to detain anybody with immediate presence from that vehicle.
I understand why he detained everyone in that situation because you don't know who has a weapon.
Mr. Nichols with 1, 2, 3 possession of firearms and commission of a felony, correct?
Yes.
All right, and you're aware that they were no process, dismissed?
Yeah, I wasn't aware, but okay.
All right, and you said that it was 3 guns, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're aware that the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, that 2 of those counts, you're aware they were dismissed?
No.
You're not? Okay. All right, now, you charged Mr. Nichols, right? You filled out the arrest warrants. And you did not arrest Mr. Nichols for any gang charge, correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm finished, Your Honor.
Anybody else?
She's snapping low-key. All right, that's pretty much it for day 5. Now we're going to go into day 6. So this is a 2 days in 1 video. Now we're going to be able to see the witnesses on the stand because that rule got changed. The judge let it happen now. So this is Sergeant Jonathan Cornelius right here. He's basically just going to explain K9 units and how they work.
We respond to any type of canine calls, whether it's narcotics related, or there's a missing person to track for a missing child or something like that. Self-initiated calls, just out driving in the higher crime areas. We're tasked out to assist the DEA, ATF, outside agencies with calls when they didn't have a canine available.
Another state witness right here. I believe he's a forensic analyst for the Army. He's also ex-GBI.
I'm currently employed in the Department of the Army as a forensic examiner. I worked at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
And how long were you with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
Just shy of 14 years. I was also trained in courtroom testimony for instances such as today.
He was trained for courtroom testimony. I didn't even know they really do that. I guess that makes sense though, because they have to prosecute people, so they have to know how to conduct themselves when they're on the stand. So that makes sense.
Continue education through read-ins and meet-ins and just general journal reviews so that we can keep abreast of the new and exciting developments that are happening in the drug world. Forensic chemistry is analyzing evidence that may be related to a crime scientifically for whatever the result of the submitter is looking for, whether that be fingerprint, drug analysis, firearms, DNA. I received a bag with tablets. There were 2 different types of tablets based on the color and the pharmaceutical imprint that were on them. There was another sealed package that contained 3 different bags. All 3 of those bags contained solid material. And then there was one bag that contained a single blue tablet.
All right, so you did not deal with Officer Chisholm directly, correct?
No, I did not.
It would be fair for me to say that you do not know how the items you received to be tested was given from one officer to the next.
That is correct. I have no witness of how the evidence was handled before it entered the GBI.
Casting doubt on how the stuff even got to him.
The items were seized, like whether it was in a container or anything like that, you just know how it was delivered to you, correct?
That is correct. I have no knowledge of how these items were seized. That is correct. There was no pill bottle here.
Okay, so you didn't receive a pill bottle at all?
No, ma'am. All I can say is that when I opened the sealed package, I received 3 different bags.
Okay.
I'm not aware of what the officer seized at the time.
And you did not receive a call to test those pills, correct?
I did not know.
Okay. That bag turned out to be bath salts?
That's correct.
Not MDMA?
Not MDMA.
Okay. All right, and that was...
Bath salts. These motherfuckers tripping, trying to eat each other's faces off or something, dude. So I believe this is an arresting officer of Derontae, Bebee, who got caught with cocaine, who isn't even a part of this case anymore. So, I mean, take that how you want. I mean, this guy's not even in the courtroom or part of the case at all, so.
Myself and my partner were at the location doing target enforcement. We had observed a group of males quickly flee into a gas station upon seeing our patrol car. Mr. Bebee, I observed he was not there. He actually was still inside the room, the gaming machine room. Upon him coming out, he was sat down, and then I went back into the room. Wondered, okay, well, why were you staying inside into that room? Did you possibly leave something behind? I went back into the gaming machine area, and in the direct spot where Mr. Bebee was at, I discovered a small baggie containing half a gram of crack cocaine. Mr. Bebee was formally arrested. He was formally arrested for possession of crack cocaine. We had seen him take the crack out of his boot and discard it in the area where it was located.
How is having a half a gram of crack on you? How is that in furtherance of a gang? I don't think that's anything to do with furthering the gang, but let's keep going.
I charge him accordingly based on the facts of the case. Yes, sir.
All right, according to the facts of the case.
Yes,
so what you're testifying to is exactly what happened that day, and everything was involved on that day, right?
Yes, sir.
You ain't charged with a gang crime, did you?
No, sir.
No basis to it?
No, sir.
He's just still casting that doubt, pointing out that there was no gang charge or anything like that at that point in time, 3 years ago in 2020 when this happened.
My analysis confirmed the presence of cocaine and the sample tested.
And,
Oh no, a half a gram of cocaine. Oh no, what are we gonna do, boys? That's just some real mob shit. Fuck, man, a half a gram of cocaine.
The weight was less than 1 gram.
They brought in the dude that tested the shit in the lab, positive for cocaine. Half a gram. That's all this guy is here for. So it seems like a gram of cocaine is around $90 in America. So we're talking about $45 worth of cocaine right now. That's furthering YSL. Look at all these lawyers standing together, dude. This is crazy.
There's a standing, I guess, a continuing objection under the Jefferson case, but also, Your Honor, I would object it going into evidence under 24.
Okay, is this for later or for?
For now.
For now?
For now. I'm objecting to this going.
Can you come to the bench, please?
Sure.
All right.
All these lawyers are objecting to his guilty plea of this half a gram of coke because he's not even part of the trial anymore. It's pretty tedious. I mean, look at Thug. Even he's tired of this shit, boys. Like, come on now. Like, what are we doing here, man? Holy shit. Let's see what Keith Adams has to say about this.
You talked to us about a high drug area, right? Correct. There are a lot of high drug areas in the city of Atlanta, aren't there? And it's not just Cleveland Avenue. Right? It would be incorrect to say that the only place there are drugs sold or where there's crime that takes place is Cleveland Avenue. That wouldn't be accurate, right?
Correct.
If as a police department or a police officer you chose to target a high crime area and you wanted to go into somewhere in Buckhead, you could find a high crime area in Buckhead to target, right?
Correct.
To do undercover buys at, right? Mm-hmm. To find people who sell weed, correct?
Correct.
You ever heard the term weed man?
Say it.
Weed man.
Weed man?
Yeah. You know how sometimes folks, I don't know, college kids, regular kids, adults, young folks go looking for the weed man, go buy some weed?
Okay, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You heard that term before?
I've heard.
There was such
You ever heard the term weed man? This is funny as hell.
a thing called a weed man, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sometimes one man, sometimes it could be a woman. It could be a weed woman, right?
Correct.
Okay. You're there to do the undercover buy, right?
So he's undercover buying weed from Derontae Bebee. $20 a weed. That's why he's there.
You walk in and you approach him and you ask him if you got anything.
Right.
You were looking to buy some weed.
Correct.
And lo and behold, you bucked up on the weed man and you got $20 worth of weed, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then this was a young, his name was Bebee.
Right.
So you get your $20 worth of weed from the weed man and you're out of there. There wasn't anything else going on at the location when you pulled up, right?
Oh, no.
No, nothing else, just some kid who you asked for and got $20 of weed from.
Right.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
That's all.
Any further calls?
These lawyers are doing such a good job at downplaying this.
And that's why we're in the area doing what we're doing.
And were you looking for weed for yourself?
No, sir.
But just for purposes of targeting high crime areas?
I wonder what he's saying. He's saying something confidently. I don't know what he's saying, but this is Officer Hawkins, by the way. She was part of the investigation arresting that was selling weed.
So there was 13 grams of marijuana in a clear baggie that was found inside the vehicle, the passenger seat, as well as a marked $20 bill that the undercover officer initially had, and that was used during that sale of that 1 gram of marijuana.
Was there anything else recovered?
From inside the vehicle, yes. There was a small backpack, a multicolored backpack. It was on the center console, front center console, and there was additional marijuana found inside that backpack. There was also a firearm recovered from him.
They arrested him with that small amount of marijuana that he just sold to an undercover cop, but then there was 16 or 15 grams in the car outside of the gas station. And 6 people got arrested in this, apparently. There were 6 of them.
And when you ran a firearm, what happened?
The firearm came back as stolen.
These motherfuckers did have a lot of firearms on them that were stolen, though. Like, what the fuck, man? You can't legally buy a gun. You don't want to be linked to a gun, but damn. I mean, it's like every time these guys get pulled over, they have a firearm on them that's illegal. Definitely not a good look for the jury to see that many firearms. It's hard to tie YSL as a big gang that, like, is trying to profit. Like, it just seems like all of them separately were just selling drugs and trying to survive. Like, it wasn't for YSL. You know what I mean?
You responded because there was an undercover sale that had been made at that location, right?
Correct.
You advised that there was a $20 marijuana sale that had been made. I don't know if you knew at the time the name of the person was Bebee, but you had a description of the individual.
Correct.
Right? And when you got to the location, you saw someone fit that description, jean jacket, white pants, and that person was in a vehicle.
When I saw him, he was no longer inside the vehicle.
Okay. So the first time that you get to the location, he's already been detained or taken into custody or whatever by other police officers.
Correct. They were actively detaining him.
Okay. Then there was some marijuana found in the car that Mr. Bebee was supposed to have been in?
On the passenger seat, correct.
On the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't in the car when you pull up, right?
Correct.
Okay. You just know that you were told that there was some additional marijuana found on the passenger seat in the vehicle that he supposedly was in before you got there.
Correct.
Right. And what, 14 grams of marijuana?
Correct.
This right here?
Correct.
Okay. And $20 was the $20 that $20 that the undercover officer had used to buy this 1 gram of marijuana, right?
Correct.
At least 6 folks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ranging in things from a couple grams of marijuana. That's the kind of, I mean, essentially that's what happened, you guys. Whether they was detained, if they had some marijuana on them, well, they're either going to jail or they get cited or they get arrested or something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. This was a marijuana buy operation. This wasn't some sort of gang operation, was it?
Correct.
Okay, he was also arrested for drugs, a firearm, and for possession with intent drugs.
Correct.
So you arrested, besides Mr. Bebee, 5 other individuals for drug offenses. 2 other individuals with possession with intent to distribute charges, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was based on your training that you received about the criminal laws of Georgia?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, in any of these individuals, were any of those individuals, or Derontae Bebee, were any of those individuals charged with Gang Act violations?
That I do not know.
What did you charge with Gang Act violations?
I did not.
Okay. Do you see any of those individuals here today?
Can't see everybody, but no.
So only Bebee was charged with RICO, but there was 5 other people there present. Interesting. And none of them are in the courtroom. Literally 0 people regarding this case are present in the courtroom.
No one took out any gang warrants in regards to what happened at that location on May 8th of 2020. No one took out any gang warrants, right?
I can't answer that question.
Did you?
I did not know.
You advise anybody to?
No, I would not.
Are you aware of anybody taking out any gang warrants based on what happened at that location on that day that we're talking about?
No, I'm not aware of any.
All right.
That's pretty much it for today. So a lot of tedious, police officers and experts just testifying to small amounts of weed and cocaine and a few stolen weapons being recovered. That's pretty much it. That furthered YSL. The half a gram of weed really furthered YSL down the line because they don't have artists making millions of dollars a year. They have these guys on the streets just really pushing the gang to the next level. You know what I mean? So many big drug deals going on involving YSL. So they had to really get that point across that half a gram of weed and the $20 of weed was pushing Young Thug, furthering YSL as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you know my channel, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Fucking love you guys. Peace out.